please.
So what do you want to do?
Well, that's a very good question. I'm against tearing it down, period.
Okay.
Mr. Turles, what are your thoughts about this building?
I don't think I can have any thoughts.
Why? It has nothing to do with the food bank.
You're not doing your
It
job.
has absolutely nothing to do with the food bank. It's a township building. Of course you can comment on this thing. The food bank is irrelevant at this point in time.
I get so tired of being hammered.
I'm not hammering, I'm just telling you facts that you're confusing this with the food bank.
I'm not confusing.
The food
Did
bank
I say it was
doesn't-
confusing?
Well, apparently it sounded like it.
You assume things that I did never say. That's why I don't say anything.
Well, Joe, let me say this. If Mr. Turles decides that he wants to abstain, we're in the same position that we were in, and the issue fails, and the building sits there empty. Is that what you want to do? Now we understand why it's where it's at right now.
Do you have any thoughts on the building?
Yes, I do.
Could we hear them, please?
Do you want to share them with us?
Or do you want to share?
It's your
I
job.
like this. It's my job. Yes, it is.
Because you're trustee, it is your job. Jesus.
I'm so scared. I'll write that in the minutes again.
Please don't. Please, this is a meeting between the three of us. Please.
I'm just afraid. That's all there is to it. Everything I say, it just gets turned around the wrong way, and it's miserable. First thing is, this has all been wrong from the beginning, all the way from the beginning. It's never been a kind thing for anybody to come here and address the trustees that they wanted something. It was a demand, a constant demand. We need this. You guys have to do it. It was constant. It wasn't in kind. Just miserable. If anybody had any words to say against it, you were not a good person, and it's made bad feelings between the church, me, trustees, and some of the residents. In the same token, as much as people want to have that in there, I've heard the same that didn't want to have that in there. The biggest thing with this is, I've got off the path. It's about the building. The building, like I said before, in past minutes, you had to understand the time. Maybe I'm too old, maybe it's time for me to go.
Well, we don't just want to sit here and stare at each other all night. I'll put a motion on the table that we investigate the possibilities of demolishing that building.
Second.
And motion in a second. Pursue the cost and,
To demolish that building.
okay, to demolish. Mr. Matata, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Leonard?
No.
Mr. Turles?
Yes.
All right. We'll start to do something about that. Yes, ma'am.
When you were talking to Michelle here, I didn't think it was right how you were talking to her.
Okay.
Not at all. Your voice was like, you just talked to him and your voice was even and nice. You talked to her and it was yelling.
Really?
You told her that you would give her that, knowing that you couldn't do that. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Is that your comment?
Yeah, well, I just didn't like it. It just wasn't
Okay.
right.
Okay,
Wasn't
I
right.
understand.
But you shouldn't have offered it to her, knowing, I mean, you were just like intimidating her, or browbeating her, before you settled something. You know what I mean? You're just giving over your power. You weren't talking to her as an individual. You know
I'm
what I mean?
sorry you feel that way, but...
Well, I feel that way, that's the way I feel.
Okay,
It wasn't right,
okay,
and I think you should apologize to her.
okay,
I really do.
okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Just want to make it clear, very clear, that what you do with that building has nothing to do with the food code.
I particularly more than understand that.
Okay, I just want to make that clear.
You're absolutely right. That it has nothing to do, it has to do with, do we,
Exactly.
you're right, it has nothing
And I
to do.
appreciate that talk. because,
Absolutely.
Because we are a nonprofit and we have to get people to donate. And they think we're trying to influence the...
Mike, you have got to admit, in all of that meeting that we had on the 27th, there's more than one time I said, this This is not a referendum on the food bank, has nothing to do with it. It's a question of whether or not we're going to lease that building to a nonprofit. And I've taken great pains not to try to include that name. You're absolutely right.
Well, thank you.
And I told you before, my friend, I more than support the food bank. This is a financial situation between, this is just a financial deal.
And it's clear in your mind, but
Absolutely.
it could be fuzzy with other people in Nelson Township. So that's, it has to be clarified, so, for the other people. You have it clear, and I appreciate that.
Mike, I will try to clarify that every time we talk
Okay,
about
thank
it.
you.
I don't even like to use the term Nelson Community Food Bank when we discuss that, because that's not what we're doing.
Okay, thank
We're
you.
talking about a lease between our organization and another community-based nonprofit.
Okay, thank you.
I try to get the wording right.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome, and the point well taken. Yes, sir.
I just can't leave this meeting without giving you my opinion. Now that we've decided to tear the building down and demolish it. As a member of the food bank board, I would, it disheartens me that this township would rather destroy a building that could have been put to use for a good cause in the town. And it's sad. But, in a perfect world, it would have been really nice if the trustees would have came to knowing that the food bank needed a building and was looking to move. If the trustees would have approached the food bank and said, we know you guys are looking for a place to move. We got a building we don't use no more. How about moving in there? Let's see what we can do to get it for you. That's in a perfect world. And as a resident of this town, personally, I would have liked to have seen that. But now that the decision has been made to demolish the building, that rests on you guys' shoulders. And I'm very disheartened as a resident. And that's my opinion.
Okay.